Alright guys, in today's video I'm going to do something very different. I'm not unhappy with the game per se, but I'm not happy, if that makes sense. I'm just kind of on the game right now. So I wanted to go over things I'd like to see for the game and how I think they could basically improve the meta and just improve the game overall, because it's really stale right now. And yeah, so I'm just going to go over each thing that I think is super important. So the first thing I want to see is some kind of roadmap. I don't think we're going to get one, but I think it'd be really great if we did get one, so we would know what to expect and have some sort of like positive. We have like a positive outlook for the game, right? So when the next set is, get an actual set release schedule. Knowing when the patches are going to happen. It's been a long time since we've had a patch, even though we desperately need one, but obviously a roadmap would be great. And now the rest of what I'm going to talk about is just going to be changes to Spellslingers and cards. So I'm just going to go from left to right. I think Chandra is actually in a really good place right now. The only thing that I might change is revert Minotaur back to a 3-3. I think they've pushed red a little too far lately. They've pushed the whole meta game to be too aggressive, in my opinion. Basically, it shut out like way too much of the game. But even if they didn't revert Minotaur, that's okay. I get that there needs to be like a 3 or 4 drop creature that's really good for red. And I think Minotaur has always been one of those cards. But with all the other changes, Chandra might need to get adjusted. I'm really glad she does 5 damage. She's been needing that for a very long time. I would fix Gideon by either reverting him back to a 4-4 and keeping everything else the same, or I'd keep him a 3-3, but I'd make this a 1-drop 1-2, so that way if you don't have Paragon, then it's not a useless card and still pushes damage through. And while those changes don't seem like they're that big of a deal, I think just that either or would be a fine thing to do, and just see if it could give Gideon just enough to push him in a positive direction. I could also see Thraven Sentry becoming a 1-drop 1-2 with armor, but that might make it too strong. But those are some things that I'd be interested in for Gideon, because he's like completely disappeared, man. He's been gone for so long. I've seen, if you look at my battles on my channel, I've versed like 2 or 3 Gideons in like the last month. So that's really sad, because he's got a really cool mechanic and he deserves some attention.
I'm here. You're welcome.
Liliana, I would put it back to how it was before the patch with the stats, because that's not what matters at all. And I would just make Corpse Conveyor cost 4, slow the deck down just a little bit. It gives deck more time, and yeah, I mean, it loses to itself sometimes, but we got to remember that when cards come out, it's just going to make every strategy, like, it's, over time, everything's just going to get more consistent and more powerful. It's just how card games work, which is why I think a lot of games need like a ban list system or something like that, or they need a cycle, and we're obviously so far away from that being a thing, and I don't think it'll ever happen. So I think touching this is more important than anything else. If people still think this deck is a problem, I'm not really convinced it is a problem, but if I were to touch Liliana, I'd put this to 4 and kind of call that a day. Not much to say there. Jace is difficult, because when the meta is fair, then Jace is good. The problem is that over time, the answers for these cards that are coming out, their power levels are, it's hard for Jace to keep up. Like, Teferi got Vindictive Shot, Teferi got what else did he get? He got Guess Again, he got let's see, It's Alive, right? Like, Teferi Control got a lot of buffs. Not a lot of good things came for Jace. So I mean, Alarm Bell is like the best thing Jace got, and it's okay. You have to lose tempo, so it's hard for you to keep up in that sense. Like, you don't really have time, a lot of the time, to play Alarm Bell. But back to Jace though, it's just, I think what they need is another card like Mage of Insight that's cheaper, that draws a card still. So maybe like a 2-drop 1/3 that draws a card, something like that to help cycle. The only problem with something like that is that if you were to do that, it would make other blue strategies a lot more consistent, which could be a problem, but maybe not with the splash. Yeah, I mean, his signature cards are great. Trying to see what else I did. Oh, so another way that would adjust him or give white another option is if they had something like Execute from Elder Scrolls Legends, which is like a 1-drop that kills something with 2 or less power. Basically, it's like almost like a white shock that doesn't go face. I think white needs some kind of spell like that that's not Path to Exile, because giving your opponent a mana is like, it's just never a good idea, and Smite the Monstrous is too specific. And so I think white in general just needs a better removal spell, like kind of like Divine Smite, but you don't have to run Oath of the Paladin, right? Like, it just needs a generic white spell, in my opinion. And I don't think that would break anything. It would just give another way for control to interact early without just like playing crabs and hoping, right? Also, a cheap spell like that can make things like Serpent viable. Things that care about if you play spells, it could end up making like Apprentice viable, and she gets bigger every time you play a spell. So yeah, that's something else. Nissa. Okay, Nissa's all over the place, and she's basically Domri 2.0 right now, and it's really pissing me off, frankly, with the Behemoth and the Lava Wave in the main deck. So I want Nissa to get 1 card less, go like 6 to 5 or even to 4 or something, because it's just so crazy the amount of versatility she has. It's really, really frustrating. I'd lower her life at least 1, because over the course of the game she ramps so much. I think she gains too much life, so I think her starting life total is too high for what she does, because she just body blocks you. You know, like, she's never going to, she doesn't need to start with, is it 25? Yeah, she should start with 24 or lower health, because she just gets too much. And also, I think Scion, this change that they made, like, I think it's way too strong. I think it needs to go back to how it was before. I think you know, playing a 2-drop 3/3, playing a 3-drop 4/4 is just completely unnecessary for a deck that traditionally runs a bunch of bodies, because the bodies are really good. And, you know, you're of course going to run stuff like Druid. That was just a weird version. You know, you're gonna run stuff like Druid, Birds of Paradise. Like, they just have tons of bodies in every single version of this deck, you know, almost ever. So it's just completely unnecessary for her to start that high and to buff this thing. So I want that reverted. I want Nissa's health to be lowered, and I could even see messing with her ability to run 6 cards of any color. She's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger as the game goes on, and now she's just running Lava Wave with Behemoth, and it's just a huge mess. Really don't like Nissa right now. I want the Titans reverted back to 6-drops that are 6/6s. The 7/7 is way over the top. If you're gonna have Lava Wave, there is no reason, Lava Wave in its current state, I mean, while Titans should be able to survive like Lava Wave. It makes absolutely no sense. And the Titans are just like way too beefy now. Their effects are already good enough. They don't need to be overstated for the cost as well. The fact that they're even for cost is plenty good. I don't understand why they needed to do that again. It makes Primeval Titan broken. Like, he's a 6-drop 7/7 that ramps on summon, ramps on attack. It's crazy. It's nonsense, if I'm being honest. I think Ajani and Kiora are both fine. They just need a healthier meta in order to be able to compete. And I think a lot of that problem is Lava Wave being so strong. And I think Lava Wave needs to be adjusted. I've been testing out so many different things, trying to have fun with the game. I even built let's see if it's here. I was trying to build like a relentless spam. This isn't it. I was trying to build a relentless spam Lava Wave list, because I wanted to be resistant against board wipes, resistant against spot removal, and then fight the opposing like Domris and stuff with my own Lava Wave. And then I was even trying to make Path of the Barbarian good, because I have like these giant relentless things that are just going to keep coming back that I can then proc the Pact of the Guardian with. And I just kept getting slaughtered, man, because the meta is just so refined. But I was trying to find different stuff for the channel. But yeah, I think Ajani and Kiora are good. I think that for them to like really shine and not have like, you know, I know Kiora has like a really good build at the moment, but I think they're both fine. In general, they just need a healthier format. I think Angrith is fine. If I was like an Angrith enthusiast, I could see maybe making Searing Chains one more charge or something, but that might push him too far. So he's probably just fine where he is. It's just not his time to shine yet right now. Vivian, I think she's amazing. You guys know, did really well with this list last format. Trazga was running my deck for like, I want to say like close to 2 weeks, and you know, he'd make small adjustments here and there, and he got to third with that list, and I know he's a fan. He played it a bunch, and I was popping in his stream talking to him. Trazga is really cool, by the way. If you want some more content, he's not playing it on Twitch as of now. He's taking a break, which I frankly understand. I think Dritz is completely fine. Again, in a healthier meta, I think he shines. Again, I think the problem is whenever you're having these mid-range decks, they have a really hard time overcoming Lava Wave. It's like, okay, so you both have a board state, you're both fighting, and then someone plays Lava Wave and you just lose, which is why Nissa and Domri piss me off so much, because I mean, Lava Wave is by far the best card in the game. Fight me if you don't agree with me. It's 100% the best card in the game, and it's not even close. Like, okay, you can't play Sorin, you can't play Yanling, you can't play Sarah, you can't play Vivian, you can't play Angrith, you can't play Ajani, you can't play Gideon. Like, it shuts out, makes Vraska harder. I mean, it kills Crusher Worms. I mean, it's like, it closes, like, if you're red and you're mid-range, or something like Nissa that can just run Lava Wave for whatever reason, you just blank like half the cast here. Like, it's so stupid. It's really frustrating. Let's see. Yanling, I want to go over Sarah real quick. So I think she's fine, but I would like to see one more like cheap good heal card. One, because I think heal archetypes are cool, and then secondly, I'd like to see Bond actually have some good viability and give the like, you know, the combo stacking Mens and Lightning Helixes and stuff in Second Sun's Dawn. I like to see that deck actually be viable. So, because it's susceptible to being messed with, it's susceptible to discard, it's susceptible to being beaten down, because if you're healing yourself to stay alive, then, you know, you're just kind of like delaying the inevitable outside of like Day of Judgment. So I wouldn't mind seeing one more thing there. I could even see her signature card getting reverted back to a 2/2. I don't know what the heck reverting it to a 1-drop 2/1 was supposed to do, but whatever. Bad change in my opinion. Yanling is another one that really annoys me, because she is so cool. She's so well designed. Her cards are beautiful. I love Yanling. I think her health could use a boost, because she's naturally going to be a slower via her signature cards and the way she's going to poke. And then a 6-card splash is just nowhere near enough to get an actual package for anything. And so basically what you're trying to do is beat your opponent with mono blue, and that's garbage. The reason it works with Jace is because Jace has really good signature cards, and the splash can be a lot more impactful than it is here with cards like Day of Judgment. There aren't any cards with Yanling with her strategy that are good enough at 6 cards to make her do anything, which is why she completely disappeared after like the first day or two. And people were just playing her because it was someone new. You guys know I love tempo, I love this strategy. She really just needs 8 cards. Sorin is a complete disaster. He's been gone almost as soon as he arrived. Duchess, I think, needs to give a +2/+1. I think she needs a buff, or she just needs to be reduced to a 4-drop and give like +1/+1, or even something. Like, she needs a rework, because this card's good. It gives you, it's the reason you would run red over white, in my opinion, other than Sinister Host, because the card's crazy. But yeah, she just needs an extra boon. Also, I would not mind Valdarian Drainlord getting reduced in cost, maybe a 5 cost, and then becoming like a 2/4 or something, just so she can give more meaning to the crappy passive that is Sorin's passive, which is whenever you attack with a vampire, you drain 1. No one cares. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I think he needs better Lord, and he needs a better Drainlord. And also, obviously, I wouldn't mind if he had more vampires in the next set or two, and we could widen these strategies. But I think that's what Soren needs. And okay, Domri. Oh, I'm so tired of seeing this dude in every format and being so broken in every format, no matter what. So, firstly, the boars can be nerfed again. I don't see any reason why you should get free creatures that are 3/2s. I think 2/2 is fine. I don't think they should trade up. I think it's really stupid. Also, I cannot stand the fact that these guys, you can hold a trap. Like, it's so stupid that you can hold a Worm's Wake, and that count towards them Moonlight flipping. I can't. It's so stupid and brain dead. Like, Domri was already good. He was already super good, and they're like, you know what would be even better if we made him even more broken. So, yeah, complete garbage. They should revert that immediately. And then I think Lava Waves should cost 9 or have a reduction in damage dealt, because it, like I said, it's literally the entire game is warped around this card right now, and it's going to continue to be warped around this card until like the end of time, or until there's like a clause that says Nissa also can't run this one card. But you know, that could never happen because it doesn't make sense. But yeah, Lava Wave is a huge problem. Domri's still way too good. The Werewolf package pushed Domri like way farther than it was supposed to. I knew this card was busted the moment I read it. This card should cost 4, or like 3 makes no sense. But yeah, those are the things I would change for Domri. So stupid, I can't stand it. I think Kaya is actually in a really good spot. She just she's designed really well. I don't think she needs any changes. I think she needs a better format. Same thing with Vraska. Completely fine. Nahiri is completely fine. She's actually pretty good right now. Rawl, I would just leave alone while I was making these changes and see where he settles, and then adjust again after that, because we all know how good Rawl can be. And then Teferi is a weird one, because you're trying to make him have his own identity and not just be a worse version of Jace, which I feel like he was for a very long time, and so they started adjusting him. So in my opinion, there's 2 ways you can go about changing Teferi. So you can either make it to where every 4 traps you draw twice, which I don't know how they would code, and it would mess with their little image, so I never see that happening. But I think 4-2 makes a lot of sense. The problem with 3-2 right now is that you basically just get to 1-for-1 forever and never run out of cards, which is what makes him broken. Yeah, you're not outwitting anybody, you just have infinite card advantage. It's stupid. And so like even like the third one, right? It doesn't have to be something that 1-for-1. It could be Call to Wind, it could be It's Alive, it could be whatever. Transparent Hallway from Staff, whatever. And you just get draws. So you don't even have to 1-for-1. You just get free stuff. It's insane. So if they can't do the 4-2 ratio, I think they should go back to a 3-1 ratio, and then buff Acolyte, buff Absorb back, and then keep Staff the way it is now, because it's really good now versus before. And you probably would need something else. I'm not sure off the top of my head what else I would do. But if you made it 3-1, he would need significant buffs to be able to just not be a really crappy Jace, right? And then Ashiok, I would honestly just leave alone, because Ashiok is a very dangerous Spellslinger to mess with, and I would see how the meta responded, and then adjust her and Rawl, and see if anything needed to be done. Because if you make these guys too strong, just trying to touch too much, then you could just end up with another really bad format. So yeah, I would leave her alone as well. So let me know in the comments what you guys would change, what you agree with, what you disagree with. But yeah, I think Lava Wave is the most broken card in the game. I'll die on that hill. The card is absurd. I think when Teferi's really strong, it shuts out too much of the meta. And I think when Lava Wave is too strong, it shuts out too much of the meta. I've barely played any Jason like over a month, and it's killing me because he's my favorite, but he sucks right now. Yeah, it's just, there's too many Spellslingers that just auto lose to Lava Wave, and so you just can't have any fun. But you know, and we get new things like Yanling that are underwhelming. Soren is underwhelming, and so, you know, they need to be brought up to snuff, in my opinion. I mean, Sarah didn't even really do anything when she got introduced. So, I mean, what is that? Is Dritz the only one that's been introduced that is good consistently, or at least like playable consistently? Soren hasn't been playable. Yanling hasn't been playable. Sarah is like almost there. She just needs a couple of things. So yeah, they just been like dropping the ball big time on the power level of the new guys. But anyway, that's what I would do. Let me know what you agree with. I hope you guys enjoyed my TED Talk here. But I'll see you guys tomorrow.